ಧರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮೀರಿ ಇವರು ಧರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮೀರಿ ಮೌಲ್ಯತೆಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಕಡೆ ಬರೀ ಉರ್ದು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೇರೆ ಆ ಥರ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಾತಿಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಓದ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ ಇವರು ಮೊದಲನೆಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರಾಗಿದ್ದು ಇವರು ಹಿಂದೂ ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸರ್ವ ಜಾತಿ ಸಮಾನ ಅನ್ನುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಇವರು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ತಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಪ್ರೇಮವನ್ನು ಮೆರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಇವರು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಹಿತದೃಷ್ಟಿಗಳಿಂದ ಇವರು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇವರು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿದೆ. ನೀನು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ನೀಡಿದರೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದರೆ ನೀನು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವಾಗುವೆ, ನೀನು ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನ ತೋರಿದೆ ಇಡೀ ಜಗತ್ತೇ ಗೆಲ್ಲುವೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವನು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ಬರಿ ಕೊಡ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅವನು ತುಂಬಿದು ಕೊಡ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಮೌನವಾಗಿದ್ದು ತಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿ ಹಿಡಿದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವನ್ನ
To start off with, let me begin with the question, and it's going to be interactive, so I hope you all interact with me as well. So let's begin with the question. How many of you feel that our education system focuses on grades more than your natural talent or born talent? Who accepts this? Who accepts that our education system focuses on grades and marks than your actual talent? Yeah. So even I accept that education system focuses on marks of students, not more than your talents. This is an important question because especially on a day like National Education Day, this day celebrated in honor to Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, gives us the chance to speak about the strengths and shortcomings of our education system. On one hand, India has produced some of the global leaders like Sundar Pichai of Google and Satya Nadella of Microsoft, who are the top CEOs of the world big companies. But what about students who don't fit into these institutions? So let me begin. Let me continue with the story. A young boy named Agastya. He wasn't good at maths or science, but he was good at drawing something that draws not only attention of students but also himself. Still, his talent was ignored because the system did not give grades for his drawings. His teachers, family, and the system all told him that focus on your studies or you will not be succeeded. Slowly, like many others, Agastya gave up on his dream and started to chase behind marks. Do you know who the Agastya is? It's me, you, or someone who's sitting here. This is the reality of our education. It produces some of the exceptional leaders of the world, but it destroys creativity and natural talent of individuals for countless students. Now let's think about this. Are we proud of our system or just the success of a few people who overcome this education system and were popular? For every Sundar Pichai, how many Agastya do we lose? For every IIT toppers, how many of students' life did we lose in the outcome of pressure of study and scoring marks? For most students, the focus is not on learning but on scoring marks due to the pressure and stress that gets from the education system. From the moment they enter into the school, their lives revolve around exams and rankings. Natural talents are ignored and creativity is pushed aside. Students are told that marks define their success, which creates immense pressure and a constant fear of failure. Let's look into from teachers' perspective of view. Even they are trapped into this education system pressure. They want to nurture students' talent and encourage creativity, but they are forced to complete the syllabus on time. This leaves little room for real learning or explore students' potential. Now let's look at the other countries, for example, where our India could learn. In Finland, for example, education focuses on overall development of the student rather than the overall marks. Their classroom encourages creativity, teamwork, and hands-on learning. Students have minimal homework and no standardized tests until they are older. Singapore is another great example. They emphasize critical thinking and problem solving, which is really required for the future things of students. And on the other hand, Japan. You know that in Japan, until 5th, the basic fundamentals of education is discipline, teamwork, rather than ABCD. Engineering and marks still dominates, while our education system instills discipline and competitive spirit. It often ignores creativity, and USA imports Saudi Arabia and technology from Japan, cars from Japan, and products from China. But what do they import from India? Any guess? No. Some of the toppers who scored more, like Sundar Pichai and Satyanarayana. But let's not forget that our education system never failed to produce exceptional students. It teaches resilience and prepares students to hard work in tough environment. Here's the truth. Our education system often two things. Any idea? Our education misses two things. One is education and second is system itself. Education system is not about how many toppers we produce, but how many lives we transform. So let's think about this. How can we rebuild an education that supports every student? Not just the rank holders. Let's create a system where children are free to explore their talents and chase their dreams without fear. Thank you.
Program concludes here. Thank you very much.
With a question, and it's going to be interactive, so I hope you all interact with me as well. So let's begin with a question. How many of you feel that our education system focuses on grades more than your natural talent or born talent? Who accepts this?
Everyone accepts.
Didn't understand. Who accepts that our education system focuses on grades and marks than your actual talent? Yeah. So even I accept that education system focuses on marks of students, not more than your talents. This is an important question because especially on a day like National Education Day, this day celebrated in honor to Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad gives us the chance to speak about the strengths and shortcomings of our education system. On one hand, India has produced some of the global leaders like Sundar Pichai of Google and Satya Nadella of Microsoft, who are the top CEOs of the world big companies. But what about students who don't fit into these institutions? So let me begin. Let me continue with the story. A young boy named Agastya. He wasn't good at maths or science, but he was.
On behalf of the Institution Innovation Council, the Cotton Academy of Professional Management celebrates the National Education Day 2024 on the theme Inclusive High Quality Education. Firstly, I call upon Ms. Pratibha S. of 3rd year PCA to give a speech on history of Indian education.
Good morning everyone. So today in the session I will be discussing about the history of education in India. So firstly, let us know what is education. Then can anyone say that what is education according to in your own terms? Anyone?
Basic knowledge.
One side of voice.
Basic knowledge.
Yeah, what you said is right. It can be said as basic knowledge, but in my words, I want to state that it is like empowering the society. Like when you get educated, you get empowered, right? So it gives you confidence and it builds your characteristic in one way. And to talk about history of education in India, it is like a journey from stage to stage. It has evolved from time to time, and it is very good. So to come from the first stage, first is ancient period. It is a Vedic period in which students used to live with their teachers and they used to learn. At that time, the education was very practical, which means there was archery skills and it was very practical kind of learning. It is called as Gurukul system. in which they used to live with the teachers only and they used to stay with them only. And we had institutions which were very first in the world, which are Takshashila, Nalanda, and the education was free of cost, which enabled easy access for everyone. But if this is the good part of it, the bad side of it was that women were not allowed for education, and some community, like there was upper class and lower class. In that case, lower class was denied education, and there was caste-based discrimination as well. So this was the ancient period of education. So next comes the medieval period. Medieval period, it had like Persian, Arabic, mathematics, astronomy and philosophy was more encouraged, and institutions such as Aligarh Muslim University came into existence, and growth of regional language. Regional language in the sense, like the people who stay in their regions, their language got more promotion, and decline of earlier institutions, which means, which I mentioned, the institutions like Nalanda in the previous stage, all those institutions came on declining in this stage. And there was religious bias, which means like, of course we follow our religion. So when it comes to Muslim culture, which was dominating in this stage, it was like they were given the preference. And as always, in this particular stage, women's education was also neglected, which is the drawback of this. And the next stage, the third stage, which is colonial period. Anyone? Colonial period, you know about? Yeah. It was, we were under British rule, which is all like colonial period, that was called as. And English was more promoted, and it came to the mainstream. And English, science, commerce were the subjects that were dominant that time. And the social influencers like Rajaram Mohan Roy and Mahatma Gandhi, they started empowering and spreading the importance of education. And this time, not very much, up to a limit, middle class also got the access of education, and universities, like prominent universities which we hear, Calcutta University, Madras University and Bombay University came into existence. And this was the period when printing press and textbooks started getting printed, through which everyone used to refer their, to improve their knowledge, of course. And next stage, which we, there was no, before this there was no particular infrastructure in education system. So in this was the, and in this period after post-independence, which is 1947, education became a fundamental right, and policies were introduced so that there is a structured education system, and it helped in nation building, and integration of technology improved the stage, and expansion of education infrastructure means it extended the boundaries of education, and subjects which didn't had before that much dominance or importance, like computer science, environmental studies and business studies got importance in this stage, and high dropout rates. Like students used to get access to the education, but because of poverty or economical or financial reasons, they used to drop out in between from schools and colleges. So this stage had high dropout rates, and lack of quality in public schools. There was public schools, but there was no proper maintenance, or the quality, you can say, it was not that great. Then comes the last stage, which is the modern era. In today's India is home for many IITs, IIMs, and AIMS, and we have digital learning platforms, and we can do many courses online. We have millions of online courses which we can do, and technology, even in rural area, it is little bit accessible. we can't say it completely, but in some areas it is accessible, and we got more global exposure with this, and the Skill India mission was introduced, through which many unemployed people